Okay, it is Wednesday, September 22nd, and it is late. Okay, this is Jury Duty, a Big Brother podcast. Okay, lots to discuss because obviously we had Big Brother tonight, but we also had the premiere of Survivor, which we decided we would start. Yeah, so we want to get into first impressions of that one, but first we saw the veto play out tonight, and we saw what we already knew, what we didn't want to talk about. So I'm glad we didn't, because now we can really get into it. Xavier wins, which what a beautiful position for him, because now he doesn't have to vote. so like, good for him. What do we think?
I mean, it sets a little bit of potential drama up, I guess. Like, and you heard them all mentioning at the end of the episode, which it's funny. I'm starting with the end of the episode, but like, you know, it got me thinking, because DF is the only one that I feel like is a little wish-washy on, like, what do I do? Do I keep Azza or Kai? So my big thing that I'm looking for going forward is X going to decide, you know, let's use this veto on Azza. I feel like I can control her vote more easily, or do I keep it the same and let DF make the decision? So
there has been a little Cam talking on his part about whether or not he wants to do that. I don't know how much of that is for, like, the drama of the live feeders versus, like, what he's actually considering, but I don't know. Like, it's hard to really know what he's going to do because he only has the three of them to talk to. So, you know, unless he straight up tells the cameras, like, this is what I'm doing on Thursday, we don't really know.
Right. I have hope for this. I have hope for a big move here. I am expecting something to happen with Kyland here, because they must know this is a live veto, obviously. So, like, what an opportunity to not have to deal with the drama of Kyland as you make this decision of having taken him off and blah, blah, blah. You know, so if you're going to do it, this really is a time. And I think that if Xavier does not, it's a real missed opportunity. Because you're not just going to be able to just get him out as easy at any other point. This is it.
Right. He's even said it himself. Like, it would be my chances of winning increase dramatically if I take out the big target now and take Azza and Big D to the final three, which, yeah. Like, Kyland is the only one that he's going to have a hard time beating in the end. It's just, like, he needs to make sure that, like, Azza doesn't win and take Big D or something, you know?
Right. Which also, Big D making that comment about Azza being like, oh, this girl who just stayed in her room is like possibly going to make final three. Like, you slept the entire time and everyone knows it, including yourself. Like, you said it and acknowledged it. Like, how
they were fighting too yesterday about, because like he was basically going at her like, you've done nothing in this game. Like, I've carried you the whole way here. What? And they were like going back and forth for like a while. I was watching it, like someone on Twitter posted like all of the clips together, and she was like crying. He was like making her cry, basically being like, you've done nothing in this game and I've carried you here the whole time. And it's like, dude, I don't understand how you think you've done so much.
Right. Based on what?
His BB comic was literally Big Z. It was him. Like,
yes.
What was the Snorms or something? Like,
I think it was the big Snorm or
something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that. Oh, poor guy. What else did he? Wait, there was a line that he had. I had to write it down because I thought it was just so ridiculous. He's like, "Oh, I'm having this conversation with her because, like, I want her to know if there's a chance I might take her to final three because I care about you and it's best for my game." Like, then don't say it's good that it has anything to do with the fact that you care about her.
Right.
Right. He's like, get out of here. He's such a jerk. But he is fun. He's fun, and he's going to be in the final three either way. Even if he ends up on the block, and it's Azza doing it or Kyland doing it. I think, I don't know what Kyland would do.
I think Kyland votes out Azza and Azza votes out Kyland.
Not so sure what Kyland would do. I just feel like he's such a wild card. Just kind of does whatever he wants.
I also, like, I felt like I was going crazy this episode because when there was that, like, conversation between Big D and Kyland, I was like, wait a second. I'm agreeing with Big D this entire conversation. Am I okay? Like, is something?
know,
Am I
I
missing
know.
a lot of information? Or
Yeah, because I don't know
this,
why
like,
is he
making sense?
sitting there and acting like he doesn't have a right to ask these questions? Like, oh, I feel like
Especially
he's
since
threatening me, and like,
at the
what?
end of the episode, Kyland had the same conversation with
Yeah.
Xavier. Like, how is that okay for you to make sure that your final two with Xavier is intact? But when Big D questions you, it's offensive. How dare you question me?
Yeah, yeah.
Especially because I think DF had more of a right to ask Kylan about it than anybody, because we just saw Kylan take Xavier off the block, sending Big D up in his place in the middle of a double eviction. Like, of course he has the right to ask you that question. Like, is this still good? And on Kylan's part, like, you're being an idiot. Like, this is the person that might have the sole vote to evict, which we heard DF say all those words in order tonight, vote to evict, and that made me chuckle. But for Kylan, like, this is the guy, like, he kept saying, like, he's like, DF, you're asking if our final two is still good. I'm just trying to get to final three. And I'm like, you're literally talking to the person that might have the only vote that gets you to final three. Just go along with whatever he says. Like,
just yes him to death.
Yeah,
this is a game about lying. Lie.
It's like you're worried about final three. This is the way to do it. Just say yes, yes, yes to whatever he says. I don't get what you're doing. Right? But
it's just, my blood was boiling watching him have the same conversation with Xavier, and then saying that, like, Xavier not willing to have the conversation with him was offensive. I was like, dude, you just did the same thing.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought of that, and I totally agree. That conversation went exactly the same way as the conversation between Kai and DF.
So I was like, am I insane?
It was exactly the same.
Yeah.
What do we think of the sniffing?
Oh my god, that was
the
so
freaking
weird.
wraps. Like, what was that? Like, I mean, like, in the wraps, and then did he put them back? Like,
that segment was my nightmare. I couldn't watch the TV. I was itchy. I was like, my heart started pounding. I was like, no, you are not going to rub these tortillas on your face, and then everybody has to eat it. No. No.
Yes.
And I thought of Xavier just being like, and then I think of all the times that this man has cooked for me.
Dude, I was snacking while watching the episode, and I was like, I feel like my food is messed up. Like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
I've never been so not hungry.
Oh, I literally had to stop looking. I couldn't do it. Oh, no.
Fun. Really fun.
Not fun at all.
That's all I have at Big Brother 23.
Yeah, what else is there to say? Everything happens tomorrow.
Yeah, everything happens tomorrow.
It was literally just an episode of filler.
It was. I mean, I got up and I baked cookies during that CSI Vegas commercial. That's basically what that is. Like, no, I was like, okay, I don't need this. Yeah. What a flop. All right, so Survivor. No, it's not a flop. It's not a flop. No, because we're going to be back tomorrow to figure out, well, I don't know, not figure out anything. Discuss what's going on. Who cares?
Survivor Xavier does.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah.
If he's smart, he'll take down Kyland.
No.
I mean, no, not take down Kyland. I'm sorry. Take down Azza to send home Kyland. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Nah, whatever.
I agree.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just going to be like super predictable, like going forward still.
Yeah.
Because then I still think it's just going to be Kyland bringing Xavier. And then, like, that's the same thing we've been talking about now, for weeks.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right.
Yeah, I thought we lost all hope for fun when we lost Tiffany and Hannah. I kind of gave up when they left.
Did most people.
Yeah, and I was like, whatever.
It is sad to just be like ready for finale night. Like, I'm all right. Let's just
I know.
Go there.
For what I thought was a very thrilling season.
I know.
Yeah.
To kind of end this way is like, because now if it's not Xavier, I'm really disgusted. Not that I want that either, but like, what else do we have?
I'm still holding out hope for an Azza Big D final two.
Honestly, I'd live for it.
I mean, honestly, at this point, like, fine too, but I also wouldn't excite me or anything. It just make me laugh.
All I'm looking forward to is hopefully seeing. I don't care who he's next to. I just want to see Big D in the final two chairs explaining to the jury what he did in the game. That's all I want.
Right.
And we still may get that.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
I don't care who he's sitting next to. I just need to see him answering the questions.
Yeah, that's very possible. Because if he's there, I think he's still going to be sitting next to Xavier, unless something super wild happens. But I don't see, like, the only way I see that happening is if Azza won something, because DF still hasn't won anything. So, like, only if Ozzy won something, and I'm still not so sure that Ozzy would bring DF, especially after this little flarn.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Some of it might depend on what X decides to do with the veto, because I think that if he takes Ozzy down, saves her, brings her to Final 3, if she is the one that somehow ends up making that decision at the end for Final 2, she might think, oh, well, you took me off the block and got me to Final 3, so I'll take you to Final 2. I don't know.
Mm.
I know, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
I don't know. I mean, well, I guess we'll see tomorrow.
Survivor.
What did you think? Since this is your first go, Jeans.
I literally halfway through the episode, I was like, "Oh, I'm too dumb to play Survivor." There's so much that my head was spinning.
What are you talking about?
I was like, "This is too complicated for me."
Oh, I'm too dumb. It's like a light bulb went off. Like, so silly. No, why? It's great. There's so many fun things going on.
I just have to learn the game. Like that's
right,
all it is.
Right.
Right.
I mean, there are a lot of exciting things happening this time. That, like, not that I'm such an expert or anything. But like,
right, like everybody was like, "Ooh, the game is totally different," and I was like, "Is it? I don't know." Like, what's
right? Okay, well, it definitely is sped up. Usually, the show does provide these people with rice, like a certain like rationed portion of rice. I have in most seasons that I've been watching, the rice doesn't always seem to make it to the end of the season, but at least they start off with something. So this whole starting with no rice thing is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're really just being like just left on the shore. Then I thought that was absolutely wild. Like no flint, no nothing. So you can't make a fire. You have no way to make shelter. You have no pot. You can't even break coconuts. Good luck. Like I don't know. I thought that was a little nuts. So that's pretty wild. What else? I threw out a lot of things down, all of which don't really matter as much. That pastor girl. Sean or Shaw, whatever her name is. I need to pull up a cast list.
I know I have the list. I just don't know anybody's names.
Right, yeah, because there's like a lot of people. That pastor girl.
I think they were calling her Shan.
Shan, that's what it was.
Yeah,
See,
Shan.
I was interested in her, and I was like kind of rooting for her, and then I started to think that she kind of got a little like strange for me.
Was she the one that was like, "I have a song that I play in my head every time I'm being evil"?
Oh yeah,
and that made me very uncomfortable. So I was like,
it was
okay.
funny.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not sure that I'm rooting for her anymore.
I thought it was funny.
But I mean, it's not a hard no or anything. I'm just saying, like, she concerned me.
What was she, a pastor? You said, like,
yeah, she says she's a pastor.
It's a little strange for a pastor to have like an evil song they sing in their head when they're
just
up to
the fact
no
that
good.
she's even likening her persona to being evil as a pastor, I found to be concerning. But I did what some of her little taglines like were very interesting though. They just don't matter how she can't wait to like backstab people and like rip them apart or how she's phrased some of these things. Like, she kind of seems pretty savage. I'm excited to see what happens with her. She just kind of scares me. This Brad, you know what? No, forget it. I don't know. I don't like him. And I don't know. It's just something about him.
It almost looked like, for a split second there, I thought he was in trouble tonight.
I was hoping he was in trouble. I don't know. There's something about him that's off-putting.
Is it like a somewhat normal thing to like tell everybody in front of people's faces, like, I think these two should go? Or is that like is that something that happens?
Who was it? Like that guy Ricard was like, what? This guy's really old school. Just kind of like telling people exactly.
I was like, is this something that happened at one point? Like, nah, send them out.
I don't know. I thought that was right. I was like, wait. I'm like, isn't that her hair? I was like, well, maybe I don't know her name. And then when they said it later, it's like, oh no, that's exactly what he did.
He was standing right crazy. In between the two people that he named.
Like, send them out. I don't crap.
Just send them like whatever. It's like, oh. I mean, like, all right. I guess there's something to be said for transparency, but I thought that was a bit much. Oh, I gotta tell you, I feel very passionate about the fact that I do not like this JD. That one that's a super fan. I loved his story.
I could tell that he's just so eager to play and he just wants to be there so bad, but he's like big time overcompensating.
Oh my gosh.
And I think
he keeps like overcorrecting before he even does anything that needs to be corrected. Like,
yeah, really cringy.
The way he like described, because the other two guys, who was it, Danny and who was the other guy? Xander.
I had to look at the list.
They were like very good at explaining, like, okay, they took us on these boats, we got to this other little island, we had to take this walk, and then we had this choice. And like JD was all over the place, and I think we found out at the end of the episode. I think he lied, right? Because I'm pretty sure he told them he protected his vote.
Yeah,
we saw that he earned an extra one. So
he didn't even give the terms of the thing correctly. He's like, oh, if two people risk, then something.
Like, I'm glad we're saying that, because that was the moment that I was like, am I just too dumb to play this game? Like, I don't understand what this man is saying, but like,
no,
I guess
he said it
wrong.
He said it wrong. It was just a disaster. It was a disaster. Xander is hot. Okay, sorry, just had to put that out there. I had written that down. Xander is Survivor Bay.
I was like, there's gotta be one. There's gotta be
of course, there had to be one. Abraham, got smoked.
Oh yeah,
that was fun. We're down for a blind side. He really thought we gotta keep the tribe strong. Gone. I enjoyed it. I like things like that. I also like that there's 3 tribes.
Oh, is that different?
Well, some other seasons, sometimes they have started with 3, sometimes they have 2. And then they just merge them. I mean, eventually everybody will get merged. But I like starting off with 3. Similarly, like, sometimes we start Big Brother with 4. I think that's fun. Yeah, smaller tribes cause for like more chaos. Like that tribal council with that what is that? That I don't know how to say it. That UA tribe.
I think it's
I think,
yeah, these UA people. That tribal council was wild.
I was like, what is happening? I would be so paranoid. Like, what do you mean you're all just going to run around and whisper around me while I'm talking to somebody else?
And if you're not whispering to me, then you're whispering about me.
Right.
That's horrifying.
I hate that.
I thought it was funny that they were the tribe that came in and they were like, yeah, it's funny. Like, we've all been very kumbaya, namaste.
Very namaste.
And then, like, moments later, you've got Ricard getting up, whispering into JD's ear about Brad. You've got JD and Shan getting up and talking about Sarah and Brad. And it's like...
I was anxious watching it. I was like, I don't like this. I'm not having fun. Like, I don't like this.
Oh my gosh. I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
I felt like secondhand stress.
These challenges are great too.
Yeah. I thought the vote was very entertaining, because I feel like how many times we thought that like a vote on Big Brother was going to be so entertaining, and it turned out to be a flop. And like seeing this on the very first deliberation for one of these tribes was like this is going to be awesome.
Very thrilling. I will say though, to Survivor's credit, that I do think a lot of the votes are very exciting. They're always exciting.
Yeah,
I won't say that they're usually quite that. Like that really was something. Like that was really fun. And for the first one, I can't wait to see what else is going on then. Because these people just make no bones about it. Like, you don't ever want to be that public with whatever plans you're trying to make. They just didn't give a fuck, like, right out of the gate.
That's why I was like, this is wild.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. That what is that? That Luvu tribe made an amazing little comeback.
Yeah. I wrote two consecutive notes. One was Luvu is a mess, and then right underneath it, Luvu won. Haha.
I also it's like, I know, Kyle, you had said this either on the podcast or whatever. Watching Jeff roast these people to their face during the challenge is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Isn't it? Isn't it something?
Oh, I was cracking up. I think it was in the first one. Someone was like, "Thanks, Jeff," because he was just like, "Wow, this team sucks." Like, great,
yeah. Watching him, I just the intensity while he was like announcing that whole competition, like you could tell this is a guy that like loves his job.
He's having a great time.
Yes.
Yeah, like I am so here for it. I love Jeff. I love it.
No, isn't it? It's really fun. It's really fun. And that's what I kept saying. Like, it's like, hello, like they can hear you. Like, that's so demotivating. Like, I can't. But it's great. It's good television. Yeah, good stuff.
He straight up was like, they were missing the piece that's the most important piece. Guess they won't solve the puzzle now. And she's like, well, not with that attitude. Thanks a lot.
Now, bringing up the rear, what happened here? Blowing a huge lead.
In last place again.
Yes.
He's like, thank you.
Look, this team, absolute disaster. Going to have to go all the way back, all because of a misplaced bag. And it's like, yeah, no, he's fun. He's really fun, and it just gets better as it goes on. You know, yeah, good stuff. I don't know.
What did you think of this shot in the dark thing? That's new, right? That they said.
Oh, that dice thing.
Yeah. Did they say that's new? Did he say
that is
was
new? That's
yeah.
new. Well, okay. I mean, the most recent season I saw was like 37. So I mean, like to say new, I mean, who knows? But it sounded like it was new.
Yeah, it was being painted like a thing just for this season.
Yes, sounded like it was new. I don't know if that excites me. I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things that we won't actually get to see actually happen. What are the odds of somebody rolling the dice and then actually hitting it? Could just be one of those things. But the suspicion of it could cause enough chaos. I don't even know that it needs to. Maybe I'll take that back, because it doesn't really need to actually get used for it to be useful.
Right. Well, because that's the thing, right? So it takes a vote out of play. So like, if you're somebody that has a certain specific target in mind, and you're counting on certain votes, but then one of the votes you think you has that you think you have, they think they're in danger, so they throw away their vote. And now all the numbers are out of whack. You know, like
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's why I'll take that back. That could be very fun, actually, if done correctly. If it's done during one of those silly times where everybody just like agrees, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, you didn't need to roll the dice anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. We lost a vote. We had 8 others anyway. But no, that could be fun. I felt so bad for that Tiffany girl. Not that she needed it at that point, but like the fact that little advantage clue thing was right in front of her.
Oh yeah.
And I'm anxious to know a little bit more about what that really, because was that actually
okay? I was going to ask you what it was, but
yes, because I don't think that was actually an idol or anything. I think it was like some kind of an advantage, I think he said. But there was a lot of information that came.
Which, speaking of, what are our thoughts on that whole, like, they weren't doing the challenge because they were looking for an idol debacle that happened earlier on? Like, because I know that, like, everybody was pissed off at, like, I don't know anybody's name. Everybody was pissed off, like, the 2 guys that were supposed to be doing, like, that challenge. But then afterwards, everybody was pissed off at the guy who outed them for not doing the challenge. And I'm like, I don't know where we stand on this anymore.
I think it could have turned into something if they didn't complete the task that they had, but they ended up finishing it. So I think that kind of negated it. I don't know.
I agree with that. If I was there, I don't know. I think they have a right to kind of look for the idol a little bit. If you're going through all of this just to make sure that we have these very, very basic things, and if along the way you looked for an idol and you still got it done, that's your right. I mean, look what you went. Look at all that. We had time to look for an idol too.
Yeah.
So if you accomplished the task and you looked for an idol, more power to you.
Yeah, and the guys on their
that's
team.
The game.
Right. And I felt like the guys on their team, I think it was Danny, who they said is an ex-NFL player, and Deshaun, like, they were two big, strong guys. Like, I feel like the only reason they decided that was because they felt confident they could complete the task. Like, they finished pretty much right around the same time as the other guys, and those guys didn't look for an idol.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
and what an annoying, like, task that was.
I know.
I'd have been freaking pissed. And that's how I felt bad about that other guy, that Vachi or whatever.
Yeah, he straight up was like, I don't want to be here, and then he had to do it.
I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. This is the stupidest thing ever. Why would you be sequestered? How did I end up here?
Yeah.
like
it was just really so funny because he straight up told them, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it just doesn't really make sense to, like, take 2 people away and everybody else, starts, like, doing stuff. And they were like, oh, no, you're right. We can totally do stuff while you're doing that. Great. You got it.
Yes.
He was like, that's the opposite of what I said.
Like, that's literally.
Right.
I felt so bad.
That job does suck, too, because, like, the water, having to carry the water back and forth is bad enough, but like you're going to the ocean to get it, so you could see by the end there's just this layer of like sand that's been building in the pot too. Like, that must be just so grueling and so annoying.
Especially because like you can just see it spilling out as they're like traveling with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have been furious having to be the one to do it, especially when I didn't want to. Like if I was voting for it and I ended up having to do it, then fine. But like that poor guy, like it was terrible.
Yeah.
I did want to see somebody play the triangle thing though, because I thought that was going to be a disaster. You can only make one guess. Like that would have been an absolute mess and totally would have gotten it wrong. And I would have liked to see what happens if somebody did not complete the task.
I mean, I guess they just don't get their stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I just
do
want
they
to
get
see
like a penalty other than just not getting their.
No, you just don't get that. But I mean, if you don't have that, that's kind of a big deal. Now, I mean, like, no flint. Now you're gonna make you fire.
Yeah.
Now, both of the losing teams lost theirs, or just the one that came in last.
Oh, then they ended up losing it. Yeah, if you didn't win that other challenge after the fact, that was
teams?
later.
Yeah, both teams.
They had to give them out.
If you didn't come first, you were both in danger of losing somebody, and you lost your flint. Yeah.
That's brutal. No rice, and now you have no fire.
Although that guy JD said that he had been home practicing starting fires with coconuts, and
he was so amped about starting that fire, dude.
Yeah,
and that's when I liked him. I was rooting for him, and I was like, oh, "Okay, good. He's gonna find his way. He's gonna find his way." And then not too long after that, he lost it. Yeah, too bad.
It's just he's trying too hard.
Yeah, I don't think he's long for this. I guess that's all I have for Survivor. Oh wait,
well,
Luvu still being anchored to that boat.
Yeah.
That I was like, what is going on over there?
Dude,
I was like,
if I was with all of my strength trying to move this boat only to find out it was never going to go anywhere because there was an anchor on it and my arms are so tired because I was pulling a freaking anchor, I would be so mad.
I was like, what is happening? It's like maybe they're stuck in some kind of current.
Oh god.
I was like,
it's so funny to watch, but if I was in that boat, I would have thrown a fit.
I've been furious, like absolutely furious. Oh, very fun. I liked it.
I wanted to ask, so do you think that, is this a regular thing now? You think two people going home every week? And like,
I hope not. I mean, like,
because this was clearly like, you could see all the players were like, wait, the two losing teams are in danger? Like, what is this? Like, you know, like, so that's obviously not a regular thing. So, like, I wonder, but in this new era of Survivor, as it was being referred to all night, like, is this it? If your team doesn't win, one of you's going home. Like, I wonder.
I mean, I personally would be fine with that until we got to the merge. Then I think it should be one. Like, slow down. Like, we don't have to go that fast. Can you imagine?
Like,
by
a
the time
faster season because is it like a COVID thing?
Yeah, I was really surprised. What did he say? It was like 26 days or something like that?
26 days. It used to be 39.
I was like, that's quick. Yeah, the third of the season right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. But I mean, I do think that makes it so exciting. I mean, every episode is just going to be jam-packed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And do they have like a double eviction on this? Like, could we see a night where like 4 people leave? You know, like, do they do that type of thing like Big Brother or?
No, not that I've seen.
Okay.
My friend Gary is going to be like really pissed because he's saying, "Oh, when can I come on? I want to educate you, babies." And there's all these questions that we all. I'm like, I don't know. But I don't. Sorry, Gary.
Well, I'm excited that that like this is a show that we can talk about and learn at the same time. Even I know, Kyle, you're more familiar with it as of recently, but I feel like in a way we're all kind of learning.
Oh no, I'm still learning. Yeah, this is still newish to me. Still pretty new.
So
yeah. Well, so who did we lose? We lost
Abraham and Sarah.
I felt bad for Sarah.
She was crying right out of the gate.
Yeah.
This poor girl.
Sarah. No, I felt bad for her. Abraham. I didn't really have any feelings for or against. I guess it was just more fun to see him go because he just so expected to stay, and Sarah was expecting to go, and then she did. So that's not as fun.
Yeah,
It's always fun to watch somebody
And
who's
she
super
also, I mean,
confident.
like, I guess it's just because she was like crying about it or whatever. It just felt like it meant more to her to be there than it did to him.
yeah.
Yes, and or that, like, he just was so sure that he wasn't going anywhere.
Right. Well, that's why, like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I really believe that, but like, it
Right.
felt that way watching it.
Yeah, because you kind of felt bad for her. You never feel bad for the person who's like super confident. That's not good TV. You want to see that person get blindsided. So sorry, Abraham.
Right.
Yeah, sucks.
I have, yeah. I mean, I think for Survival, because I feel like there's still so much about the game that I don't know. It's like these first impressions are all I can really give personally.
Yeah.
Like,
That's all I really have.
yeah. I did want to ask a question, not about Survivor or Big Brother, but the challenge. Because we got some interesting news tonight.
Three shows, one podcast. Let's do it.
Well, we talk about all these things, so if you guys are okay with it, I just wanted to, this is already
I'm okay with it for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Right, we
absolutely.
also haven't watched the episode yet. I'm sure there's
Right.
context.
Well, no,
that we just don't have.
the only reason I'm bringing it up at all is because we got some news in the middle of Survivor and Big Brother tonight about the show, and it had come up in our last bonus episode that we talked about the challenge, and that's about Fessie's Instagram post. Because this was a topic of our conversation, like what would TJ do? We know it's not good usually when he comes in the house. Was it a mush? Was it a fight? And we still haven't really seen like all of the footage of this, but it was interesting to see Fessie's Instagram post tonight, I thought.
I
So
still
we
didn't
kinda-
read the whole thing.
Yeah.
It makes me very excited to go and watch the episode that aired tonight to
I can't
see
wait
what
to watch
happened.
it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can get into all that, when we actually talk about it, but I thought it was interesting we got Fessie's post about him being out, so.
I'm fine with it. I think it'll give Esther a better chance.
Oh, sure.
Well, it may not, and honestly, because at least he was a vet, and he was kind of protected, and it was kind of the protection. But I don't know that really counts anymore either, because like they were just starting with the rookie teams, and eventually they're just going to pick off the rookies anyway, because they're just going to keep throwing them in.
Yeah.
Because now you don't need to throw in, like, previous seasons you had to throw in the entire duo, but now that you can separate in this way,
Yeah.
I don't know that Fessy was really offering any protection anyway.
Right.
So,
I was gonna say, like, the only one that's really gonna protect her now would be Josh, but when she went at Amber like that, I don't know if he still would be down to protect her.
I don't know. Yeah, who knows? Although this is the first time that we're seeing Josh have any kind of a romance, so like that might be worth.
Which again, there's a whole episode we gotta watch. Maybe there's answers in there.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
don't know.
yeah.
I wonder how it changes, if Josh is still around. I don't know, because I feel like we didn't see some of the fight footage, potentially. So if Josh is still in there and he didn't get any, disciplinary actions against him, I wonder how this will change, like, how Casey, like, is she going to be all in on Josh now because Fessie's gone? Like, could make things interesting.
I don't even think she needs to be. Casey has her hands in so many other little pots there.
Yeah.
I mean, between the Nani thing and then, like, that gives her a whole new layer of, like, protection of safety, because, like, that's way outside of the whole Big Brother thing.
I mean, I also just think that because she's such a sick competitor, everyone's going to want to work with her. So I don't really see a lot of people wanting to get rid of her versus trying to, like, get her on their team.
Right. But people also don't really trust her either. Like, it's interesting. Well, they only don't trust her because, like, they don't. A lot of the challenge people just don't trust people from Big Brother because, like, they know that they lie a lot, and that's just not how the challenge people have liked to play. So, like, somebody had already, I think it was Tori who already said they don't know how to predict what Casey would do because nobody ever really knows where she stands outside of Fessy and Josh. So
I wonder if this will just be the end of any semblance of a Big Brother alliance on this season, anyway.
probably,
Yeah.
it should.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to. I mean, I wouldn't even want to be a part of that anymore. It already failed.
I think at this point, the three Big Brother people that potentially are left, I feel like I'd be so soured on the whole idea that I would just want to see who else I could work with at this point in the game.
Mm.
Yeah, I just thought because of that post from Fessy tonight, I thought it would have been interesting just to bring it up. The challenge and Big Brother connection, and just unexpected news tonight. So
Yeah.
I hear you.
that's it.
All right. Well, listen. Thanks for watching. It's 11:51.
We're sleepy.
Yeah, we're tired. But what is Big Brother is at 8 tomorrow, right? We're back on our normal schedule.
Yes.
So 9:30 tomorrow. We'll be refreshed. Hopefully, Kylan would have left.
We'll be in great spirits.
Yes, we'll be in much better spirits. And yeah, we'll catch you then. So tell a friend and join us tomorrow. This has been Jury Duty. Thanks a lot.